Work has stopped at yet another government agency, and I know there's so much happening, so much going on all at once. It's hard to keep track of it all. But this move by the Trump administration is something that will absolutely impact all of us. It has to do with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now, in case you didn't know, CFPB is the only federal agency dedicated to looking out for us, the American consumers, to protect us from financial abuse. The agency roots out unfair and deceptive practices by big corporations and enforces consumer financial laws passed by Congress. It monitors the market, it handles consumer complaints about misbehaving companies, and it supervises banks, lenders, and other financial institutions. Well, like several other agencies, the new Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who was just named acting director of CFPB, has ordered a freeze on all work at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and has told the staff to even stop its enforcement actions, litigation, and stop progress on finalized rules that have already been approved but just haven't taken effect yet. Things I've reported to you here on this page, like that rule that caps overdraft fees at $5 and the other rule that prevents medical debt from being counted on your credit report, all those things are now in jeopardy. So why this agency? Why is this happening? Well, first, we don't fully know yet what President Trump's plans are for the CFPB, but we do have some clues from Republican lawmakers. They want to defund it. Why? According to Senator Ted Cruz, he said, in part, the CFPB is an unelected, unaccountable bureaucratic agency that has imposed burdensome and harmful regulations on American businesses, banks, and credit unions. Now, part of that is true. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is a bureaucracy, but it is an independent bureaucracy created by a law passed by Congress. That law came about after the financial collapse of 2007 and 2008 to regulate financial products like mortgages and credit cards and to regulate banks that, if you remember, were handing out risky mortgages like candy, which then nearly collapsed the entire U.S. economy and ultimately forced the U.S. government to bail those banks out to the tune of $700 billion of your taxpayer money. Democrats say defunding CFPB is just another example of Republicans catering to big business.
That little agency holds Wall Street accountable for cheating and tricking and trapping hardworking families all across this country. In fact, that little agency, since it was created, has already forced those giant companies to return more than $20 billion directly to American households that they cheated.
Now, all of those things are accurate. The CFPB did do all those things and over the years has held Wall Street and big corporations accountable. But it's also true that they've been sued multiple times by those very same corporations for overstepping their authority and just going way too far with their regulations. Sometimes the courts say CFPB is right, and sometimes the courts say the corporations were right. But what we know for sure is Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the world and owns extremely successful businesses in this country, does not like CFPB. In fact, back on November 26th, he tweeted this: "Delete CFPB. There are too many duplicative regulatory agencies." Except, as I already reported, CFPB is the only independent agency dedicated solely to looking out for American consumers in the financial marketplace. And on top of that, it's very important for you to understand that a few days before Musk put out that tweet, the CFPB issued a new regulation that would have expanded their oversight of big tech companies that offer payments and digital wallet apps that would have technically included oversight of Musk's company. So now that regulation too is in jeopardy. Now, during President Trump's first term, he definitely eased up on enforcement of American companies. He believes in deregulation. He believes companies should just do what they do and the market will respond accordingly. Just last year, though, a group appealed to the Supreme Court asking the court to find that the CFPB was unconstitutional because of the way it's funded, which, by the way, the mechanism goes through the Federal Reserve. But in a 7-2 ruling written by Justice Clarence Thomas, the court said, no, that funding structure is constitutional and CFPB can stay as it is. Now, whether Trump or Congress is successful in eliminating CFPB this time around is unclear. But what is clear is right now the CFPB is not doing its congressionally mandated job to protect American consumers.